One of the more unreported on regions of the world is, of course, South and Latin America, but within South and Latin America, even more obscure is this area to the east of Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guyana. There has been reports of U.S. Special Forces operations being conducted, and doing some basic research sent me down a bit of a rabbit hole, and the things I'm going to reveal for you today are going to be pretty damn shocking. One of them is downright scary. Now, where we started was, let's see if I can find it here. Give me 1 second. All right. This is from Counterpunch. They made this allegation about U.S. Southern Command, right here under the Empire Strikes Back, conducting a series of military exercises dubbed Fuse Response, 10 miles off the Venezuelan coast, simulating an invasion. So I went to look for that, and sure enough, that did in fact occur. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up just a little bit so we can get through it. It's only a couple of minutes, so we can get the basics out of this.
Personnel from the U.S. arrived in Guyana, a country in South America, to participate in exercise Fuse Response 2012. The exercise enhances both the skills of our Special Operations Forces and both nations' ability to plan and conduct joint operations to confront common threats.
Acquiring that kind of knowledge is essential to meet an increasing range of threats which we face here in Guyana.
Anybody not get it?
Increasing range of threats from who? Oh well, we'll keep going.
The exercise allowed soldiers from the U.S. and Guyana Defense Force, or the GDF, to build on our already strong military relationship.
As a result of the exercise and working through those hurdles and working through those problems together, we were able to resolve them and figure things out and come out better for it.
We've always had frank, cordial discussions, and it has always been conducted in an atmosphere of mutual respect. And I tell you what, that is something that is very big for us. We know we are a small nation, a small force, but we certainly pride ourselves in being professional.
The guys came here and they taught very well, and our guys are very eager to learn. So I think we developed a good relationship with the American and the Guyanese troops.
People, were very eager to get it going and get it started and see what we can do. We actually get better training working with them than they do from learning from us.
In terms of what we bring to the table to offer the U.S. is that knowledge of the terrain in which we operate in.
The 9-day exercise, involving around 300 U.S. personnel and 200 Guyanese personnel, created strong professional relationships between the two nations, which will have a lasting impact in the region.
Okay, so it did occur. I mean, it wasn't something that somebody just made up. So, looking around and seeing if there's any more information about this, I did find this story about the U.S. spending $1.2 million for a quote-unquote emergency operations center commissioned at this place called Tamari. And it's just south of Georgetown, about 40 miles. Airport, not a huge place, but $1.2 million for down there seems like a lot of money for basically what looks like a building with a green roof. So, keep digging, and I find this article from 2015 where we see a very odd statement from this General Phillips, who's disclosed that Venezuelan missiles were collected in a region called El Dorado, and speedboats with machine guns were patrolling Guyana's Cuyuni River. This area between Guyana and Venezuela is sought after by big oil and big miners, and it's a very sparse region, but full of all sorts of natural resources. Now, here's where things get weird. I pulled this up, and this is off slideshare.net from LinkedIn, talking about these different areas that the U.S. intelligence was looking into as possible sites where Iran could be conducting missile research or uranium mining or nuclear weapons research. But these three they have outlined here tractor factory, cement plant, and sorry about the blur. There we go. Tractor factory, cement plant, and gold mine are 2, 3, and 4 respectively. Now those are 2, 3, and 4 respectively. It's this one, El Dorado, that they're calling gold mine, is what this guy was referring to. Over here, El Dorado. So this is where he collected missiles. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So why don't we go take a look for something like this to see if we can find some kind of a compound that would have the look of something that perhaps Iran, would be using. So I went to aerial view and found Temeri and decided to go looking around in Temeri. Now this is not Google Maps, this is Bing Aerial. And sometimes it has things that Google Map doesn't. And in this particular case, in Temeri, I found something very, very strange. One of the first things I found strange were all these copy-paste clouds trying to cover stuff. Because clouds just don't occur that way in nature naturally. They just don't. So here's the airport. Little area. This is Camp Stevenson. This is where, the U.S. Special Forces and the Guyanese Special Forces did their training. But you go over here to this area off the airport that looks all kind of dirty and whatever. Check this out. If you zoom in, you see this little pond-looking thing? When you get close in, you're not going to believe what you see. I can't even believe it. It's clearly someone's private water park with the loopy slides and the nice pool and all the places for the shade, and it looks like it has facilities and a nice, what looks like artificial beach and a place to go swimming. Now, you wouldn't catch me dead in water like this out here. Not without Overwatch, but this actually looks like it might be a Coast Guard stand here. Lifeguard stand, sorry. Here. So very, very freaking odd. I know this doesn't have anything to do with missiles, but I wonder if this is our $1.2 million, what did they call it, Emergency Operations Center in Temeri? Because this looks like it might cost $1.2 million to haul in that amount of sand and put in a nice pretty pool and these big water slides and all this kind of stuff and create this little basic paradise out here in the middle of what is basically some pretty horrible jungle and nothing but trees. So, but missiles. Now you remember our area, that strange gold mine? Well, I found something out there in that same region. Now that's Temeri. Now here is this extreme eastern part of Venezuela. And under this, what looks like just fake cloud, copy-paste cloud that doesn't exist anywhere else, I zoomed in through it, and I found something that is odd as hell. Now, this looks like something crashed out here. Because one of the least common shapes occurring in nature is the triangle. It just doesn't occur by itself. And out here in the middle of nowhere, and I do mean nowhere, we're talking about miles and miles of impenetrable, nasty jungle with, there's some what looks like maybe little pathways. There is, and this isn't some little area that all of a sudden decides to open up into basically what looks like a crash site of something that's enormous. 2,280 feet around. It's basically 200 meters by about 300 meters. 200 meters wide, 300 meters long. Out in the middle of nowhere. And this is the area that is on that other map marked as gold mine, quote unquote. That the area also El Dorado, where that general from Guyana said that they found missiles launched from Venezuela. I wonder if they shot something down. This looks like it's been there for a while, but you have to understand how this jungle grows. You know, something crashes out here and it'll be within a year, there won't be any evidence of anything anywhere. That's how fast it grows. So whatever this is clearly has some kind of a radioactive signature that keeps things from growing. I'll zoom back out to give you an idea again of how far out we're talking from anywhere. I mean, you have this is a couple hundred miles here from this nearest area. And this is the area over here that's been in dispute. That's why this line is dotted, because this area here, Venezuela claims all the way out to a river you can't see over here as theirs, and it's been in dispute for quite some time. But this is the area that people have said there's gold, that there's uranium, that there's all sorts of other things too. We'll zoom out a little farther just to give you a better perspective of where we're talking about. Venezuela, extreme eastern. Here's where the water park emergency center was. And as we zoom in, we'll zoom back in and look at this again one more time. We see this artificially created cloud, because they don't occur like this. And if they did, you'd have to ask yourself a question. Why would they be occurring just over that area in that weird shape? We find this. Now, I don't know if that's if what we're looking at is a mountain, if this is growing on top of something here, if this is maybe a pyramid. Pyramids are usually four-sided, though, if I thought, not three-sided. But very strange, so we will leave it there. I don't have a... If you want the coordinates, there they are. 7.351537, comma, negative 61032385. So I'll leave that up there for a minute for anyone who wants to screen grab it. But that's where this is. So, anyway, I guess I'll just leave that screen up as we get out of here. So, thank you so much for the support. Feeling a little bit better today, and hopefully we can get back to a normal schedule. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.